Hey y'all, welcome back to another speed build. I am so excited about this speed build. Oh my gosh. If you have not been living under a rock, you know that we now have platforms in the game. How freaking awesome is that? Like, y'all. So, anyways, you will be seeing me playing around with um these platforms a lot in this build. I had so much fun, and really, so how this build came about is I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get in game, play around with this, see how it goes. I was on the phone with my sister who also plays The Sims, and I will link her channel down below. She plays on console, and we were both just kind of talking about the update and stuff like that, and she kind of inspired me to hop into the game and start playing around with platforms and seeing what I can create. And y'all, this is probably my best build. And I feel like I say that every freaking time that I record for The Sims. But honestly, like, this build though is so good. Like, oh my gosh, I feel like platforms are just inspiring more creativity for me. And I'm here for it. I really am. Like, this whole grand entrance into this cute little house, I'm living for it. So originally for this house though, I really wanted it to be a rental lot because it's right in, I believe we're in Brindleton Bay if I'm not mistaken. So we're in Brindleton Bay, and this lot is right off of the lake or the beach, whatever it is over there. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's so beautiful. It's a little secluded and quiet. Like, I felt like it would be the perfect spot for a vacation lot. But as I started like actually going and decorating this home, it became a little more homey than I anticipated. So it's no longer a vacation lot, but I'm kind of interested. Not interested, I'm kind of curious if you all would be interested in me kind of renovating this lot almost and like turning it into a cute little rental spot, because I think that it'd be dope to like have a backstory with this house to where, you know, like, yeah, it was once a family home, but now it's an Airbnb or something like that, you know what I mean? Because then that would mean that the structure of the house is the same, but the interior might look a little bit different. So anyways, I skipped past a bunch of the building because it took me a minute, and now we are moving on to kind of adding to the outside. I went with a gray and white theme, as I tend to do on this channel, but I was really inspired by that red door, and what better with the red door than gray and white? Like, I mean, for real. So yeah, so now I'm just adding in some decor. I kind of had an idea of how I wanted the front to look, so I went ahead and added windows, and then we'll work around the window placement as I move on into the inside. But y'all, I really love the way this house looks. It looks so good. Like, I'm living for this house. It's so cute. And then I like that on the sides you no longer have to like raise items up that you want to put on, like I guess you can call it somewhat of a like patio area, I don't know, but you know, on the sides where you can see the green spots. Like, I like that the platform can raise that up to be the same height, and it's not just like this deep half wall thing. Anyways, y'all get what I'm saying. But I'm here for it. I ended up adding some plants later on in the build, which you'll see, to where those green parts of the platform are, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling. I do that so often. Oh my god, I do that so much with my speed builds, which is why I never like I really don't like recording over speed builds, because this is all I do is ramble about random things. But it's okay. And now we are just adding in some plants and landscaping. Finally, I kept the landscaping, in my mind, minimal, but might be considered a lot. But you'll see that here in a second. All right, so now we're moving on to the inside. I'm actually checking to make sure that my plants were not all up in the house, because that tends to happen a lot. So one thing that I just totally forgot about in placing the platforms outside is that when you come inside, that means your door is going to be raised up or whatever, depending on how you did it. So I ended up having to kind of play around with the platforms on the inside too. Originally, I didn't know how I wanted this to look, so you'll see me playing around with this a lot. I didn't want it to take up a lot of space, because if I did that, to get to a point where the Sims could easily walk into the apartment, it would just use a lot of space, you know. So I didn't want to do that with this build. So you'll see how it ends up turning out here in a second. Now I'm just making sure that as I go along, I'm moving my house as well. So the house ends up being a little bit wider as we go along, just because I knew like we just needed the extra space. I actually like the way that looks. I might use that for another build that I do, because I actually liked how that looked just a second ago. But for this build, I ended up making the platforms go sideways along the front wall. You'll see. Oh, so one thing I wanted to add into this part is that I wish that the wall heights, like the half wall heights, came in the same type of manner as like the platforms. Like you can just raise them up and down as you need them, because going through each of those sizes is a little bit tedious depending on what you're doing. So it's not really a complaint. It's just like, I wish that was in the game, but it's cool, you know, doesn't matter. I also wish that whenever we place platforms, that the whole entire freaking wall doesn't disappear. But my sister, in her genius self, taught me that, you know, instead of placing a platform and it removing a wall, you can just add in a wall, like a regular wall, and move that up or down. Like you can make it into a room and move the room up and down, which makes it so much easier. It doesn't delete your existing walls or anything like that, because you can just remove the walls after you create that room and get the platform the way that you like it. So right now, this area is going to end up being the kitchen area. So what I thought of is at first, what I thought of was having a sunken kitchen and then having a formal dining area like right above that. But it didn't make no sense. So I ended up lowering that entire area, because it didn't make any sense. I think it would make sense if the house were just a bit bigger. But for this like small of a house, it was not it. Also, I played so much with the stairs here as well. I played around with the platform so much. And I also play tested this build a lot, which, y'all, I'm gasping, because who play tests? Not me. I always forget to play test. But for these platforms, like, it was necessary. I had to play test, because y'all, my Sims could not get down. Like, you have to have it literally one down, like just one, I don't even know what to call it, one little tiny step of space between each, so that your Sim can walk down the platforms. Because if it's like the way it looks now, that's technically two, so they wouldn't be able to get to that first step, if that makes sense, I think. I don't know, y'all. It's just, you have to play around with it, and it's gonna take a lot. And I had a whole plan for this. I was like, this is gonna be dope. I was kind of thinking of trying to do a spiral staircase type of thing, but that wasn't gonna work. So I just ended up making this like a straight path down as well. So how it looks now is it's just slightly turned, instead of what I really like envisioned for that space. So yeah, I played around so much with this. And then I was also, so you'll see me playing around in ways that like doesn't really make sense, but that's because I didn't feel like replacing walls continuously. So I just kind of worked around it in this way, which still was kind of, I don't know, y'all. I don't know why I did it this way, to be honest, because it still ended up being a lot of work. I should have just let it get rid of the walls and then did what I needed to do from there. But it is what it is. So now we finally move on to the kitchen. So the kitchen, I used these, what is this pack called? The Perfect Kitchen or some y'all know what it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The kitchen pack that we got. I used those counters and cabinets because they're just amazing. Like I really like those a lot. And I find myself, I've been using them a lot more, especially in that brown swatch in some of my builds lately. I have a build that's coming up that was recorded pre-platform era, so please do not come for me. But I have a build where I use these cabinets too, and it just looks so freaking good. Like I feel like they're just so cute. I don't know. I really like these cabinets. So right now I'm just kind of playing around with how exactly I want the kitchen to go. There's still, so the way that I left the kitchen, there's still a space over by that wall where the platform stairs are that is empty, and I was thinking like I should have added something right there, like maybe like a little I don't know what I was going to add there, but I was thinking something could be there, like even if it's just another like island area that's right there or something like that. Like there needs to be something, or maybe a plant, or I don't know. It just needs something. So if you download this build, you might want to add something over there because it definitely seems like something's missing. So right now I'm also moving the fireplace from this side of the building to the other side because I remembered like, hey, you put this fireplace thing right there and then you put the kitchen right there. So I just kind of wanted to move that to the other side to make it make the most sense. Also, did y'all see that glitch? Did y'all catch that? My game has been glitching out lately. Like certain characters will have like their whole entire hand reaching to the sky. And then some of my Sims also like their arms do this weird thing when they're sitting down, and I don't know if it's CC or not that's causing this. It's been happening pre-update, so before the update happened. But I don't know. Okay, also I need to know one thing that I noticed is that you cannot do a diagonal platform the way that you would think. So I had to end up drawing diagonal rooms in The Sims and then raising it up because when you use the platform tool, it automatically wants to make it a room rather than letting you just do one wall at a time, which I mean it's fine. But that's something that I noticed as well. And then another thing that I noticed, which you'll see later, is that you cannot alt place something easily on a platform area that is just one tile big. That was giving me so much trouble, so I just ended up placing it wherever it wanted to snap to. So just note that as well. This is a really tight space right here, but I did play test it. I just wanted you all to know this whole thing was very thoroughly play tested, including the dining / living room area. Oh yeah, your Sims do get stuck between the chairs that are on the wall, on that half wall, because they want to get up in the middle and they can't go around the half wall. So just note that. But you can just easily teleport your Sim out of there and it's fine. Oh, also shout out to my sister for the idea to have a fireplace on a platform. It just looks so good, and it looks way more realistic than having the fireplace just sitting on the floor, like to have that mantle area. So cute. I need to re-download my OMSP. I think that's what it's called. The red shelf. I need to re-download that because oh my freaking gosh. Like placing stuff is ridiculous. There's a few spots where it's either sunken off into like a table or whatever it is that you have placed it on, or it's like slightly floating above it. That happens to me in the kids' room for this build. Y'all are just gonna have to excuse that. It's totally fine. They might still try to sit over there even though there's books there. Sorry, but it looked cute, so I kept it. Also, if you want to place these vertical lines, it was just not working. So what I had to do was place those first and then go back and raise the platform so that those weren't just sticking up into the ceiling or out of the, like, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, and then I used these what are these things called? Columns. I use these columns from Dine Out. These are probably my favorite columns in the game, to be honest. I just like how they look. Very sleek and modern, but still has like some of that woody vibes to it. Like I just love those columns a lot. And that rotation that you saw, me and my sister were actually FaceTiming each other and both building with the new platforms, and we were talking about how the columns can rotate, and so that's why I was like rotating the back and forth. I was like, this is pretty dope. And very needed. So now finally we've moved on to the rooms upstairs. I skipped past the process of creating a layout because that's boring. Who cares? And now I am just creating a platformed room for this sim. Low key, I wish that I would have raised up the bed, like the platform area, a little more and added like some stairs or something. Like I wish I would have kept the bed the way it was when I first placed it, so up against the window, and then just raised it up a little bit, maybe added a desk or something right there. But I still like it. So now I'm just adding in some actually ottomans to have like a little seating area up there and stuff like that. I don't know, I had fun. I had a lot of fun with this room. Oh, I keep, every time I like look at stuff, I'm like, ooh, I see this. I need to add this in this area, and then I'll like switch back and forth. But yeah, so I wish I would have raised this room a little bit more, and kept it the way that it was, because it just would have made it look a little bit nicer, I think, and it also would have allowed more space in the room as well. Yeah, it would have definitely added a lot more space in this room. I was just like thinking about it for a second, but it would have definitely added some more space for like activities that the kid might like, or a desk area, etc. Okay, so now I am just adding some clutter into the room and into other spots as I remember to. And this is the area where I wish I had my OMSP shelf, because these items are floating, and yeah, I still liked how they looked in that area, so I just kind of kept them there. But if you have the OMSP the OMSP shelf, then you can totally lower them to the correct spots. Oh, so one thing that I added, and I don't know when I add them to that room, but one thing that I added was some lights. And I might actually just wait till we get to that part. But I added some lights, y'all, and it is so cute in that room. I kept the parents' room very, very, very plain. Yeah, they didn't get much of nothing in this room. Okay, so here is where I add in the lighting underneath the bed. So what I learned in doing this, and I think I'm about to show you all, is that the lights end up being between the floor and the platform. So how freaking dope is that, y'all? So what I end up doing is I change the lighting to purple, and then I just slid them right underneath the bed, and boom, look at that. Purple freaking lighting in the room underneath everything, and you don't like see them, but you still get the light from them. I just felt like that was such a good idea, So I'm feeling it. Kudos to me. No, I'm just kidding. People probably already did this. But I just like it. It's so different for me. Like I never do that. But I felt like this was a teen's room. Like she would have it customized to her liking and stuff like that. So I really wanted to make it super cute, and also just tried new things with this as well. So now I was going to make this into a nursery or a toddler's room, but I was like, I'm not feeling that. So we're just going to make them a home office. So that's what I did here. So my idea for a family that lives here, I added some paintings and stuff like that. There's also a camera downstairs on that shelf that's in the kitchen. So my idea is that like one of the parents is a very artsy parent. They like to paint and they also like to take pictures, and so I added in some things there. So like on this balcony in the parents' room, there's an easel, and there's also those paints from, I want to say Eco Lifestyle, I can't remember. And then one parent is probably more of a business person, but they're able to work from home a lot, and so that's why they need that spare office. So yeah, that was just my general idea for that. I'm so in love. And I feel like I'm going to be even more inspired in my next builds, mostly because of this platform feature. Like, I cannot wait to use this and to just create a lot of different things. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so ready. And right now, I think I'm just going through and adding things as I see them from the debug menu. Like I added in that giraffe lamp because I totally forgot that existed, and it's super cute. So I wanted to use that. And then adding in some more lights in different spaces because I didn't want to just do the typical little $50 lights that everyone uses. I wanted to kind of change it up and use some other lights as well. So we did that, went back into the catalog for some more debug items to add to our landscaping. One thing that I wanted to do but I didn't do is add an area for like photos and stuff like that on the walls. I didn't make space for that, but I feel like there's still some space in the house where you could do that if you want to, especially upstairs. There's a lot of space on the walls upstairs. Oh, that reminds me. Another thing that I did was I added some of the non-CC paintings that you can get off of the gallery, and it's from certain creators that will upload them or make a room out of them, and I don't know how they do it, but I love that stuff. I use some of that in this build. I need to find the person's name whenever I go to upload this video, and I will make sure to put their gallery ID on the what am I saying? Oh my gosh, put their gallery ID in the description box below, so that if you're interested in any type of non-CC paintings that are just a little different from in-game, then you can use those. And finally, we are moving on to actually adding in floors and adding in wallpapers. I don't know why, but I always do that last. Like I always place my furniture first, get a vibe for how everything's going to like look and feel, and then I switch it up and then I move on to adding wallpaper and stuff like that. Like I just think, to me, that makes the most sense. I don't know, does anyone else do that? Like you start with your furniture or your objects, whatever, and then you go on to everything after all that's done. Like I don't know why I do that. One day, oh my gosh, this will make for a cool challenge, is to do your build backwards, or out of order. Do it some type of way differently than what you normally do it, if that makes sense. I know I'm rambling again, but instead of like me doing wallpaper last, I do wallpaper first. Something like that. That would be kind of fun. I feel like that we need more wallpapers. I never really get fully inspired by wallpaper. And one thing, speaking of talking about the wallpapers, that I noticed is that when you have platforms, it kind of creates like mini separate rooms. And so for the walls, you can't just shift place, because you'll have like gaps in where it will shift place. You can't even alt place, to be honest, on some of the walls, um, just because it registers each wall differently, which it's not that big of a deal, but it is a little bit inconvenient, just a little bit. But it's something I can look past. I also didn't know what the hell to put on the the oh my gosh, I was about to say columns. What the heck? The platforms. I didn't know what wallpaper or whatever foundation type of thing to put on those. But I just went with some wood that matched like the brown wood tones that are in the house. And now I'm just adding some decorations onto this wall over here. I felt like it was a little bare. It needed something. You know what I really wish we had? Like just a simple coat rack hook that like didn't have anything on there. So just a simple like board with some hooks on it. Boom. That would be so nice to have in the game. Okay, and now I'm adding in these super cute freaking flowers from Cats and Dogs that I always forget about whenever I'm building, because I see those in a lot of other people's builds and I love the way that they look, but for some reason I just forget about them every single time that I build. But I felt like these were super cute to add to the sides of the house, especially considering that there's windows right there, so it's not like it would be difficult to water those areas like if this was more realistic. So yeah, and now I'm just finishing up some of the wallpapering throughout the top floor, or the second floor. Also, sorry if you hear like random noises. I'm outside of my kitchen right now instead of where I usually film, so you might hear my icebox going off a little bit. I apologize for that. But we are almost to the end of this build, and we will get ready to hop into build mode after this. Alright, so we are in build mode right now. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful like area. I think what I might do is actually like in another save file is just add a we'll build a rental lot on this lot, because y'all, this is just so beautiful. Anyways, let's get into this build. Okay, here is what it's looking like on the outside. Super cute. I still love this entrance the most. Like, look at that. So beautiful. All right, so we are going to go in here. Oh my god, y'all know I hate that this is so slow. I do not know how to get it to go faster. I've tried everything. And so on this entrance, we have all of these plants and stuff right here. And then there's like a little balcony area with seating right there as well, so they can get up there and look out to this amazing view. And when you first go in, there is a coat rack right here, an umbrella rack. And then here are the platform stairs. There's also a picture here. And then this little area right here, just to add some character to this home. But get into this fireplace. I think this is my favorite part of the build. It definitely is. Like, the fireplace area is just so freaking beautiful. And then here is, here is just the living area right here. And the more formal dining area here. And when you go this way, before you get to the kitchen, there is an area for you to go outside. There's nothing outside, so I won't be showing the outside area. But here is the path to the kitchen. Just want to zoom out a little bit so that you can kind of see the leveling differences. One thing to note too is that, I mean, granted, we can't even change the ceilings, but the shading is off. So whenever you bring your platforms down, the shading looks different in that area. And one thing to note as well is that for the what am I looking for? Wallpaper that goes onto the platform area, you might get different lighting as well. So there's different lighting on this side compared to this side. It's just a slight difference, but it is a little noticeable. So I wanted to point that out as well. So when you first come down the platforms, you have this kind of like breakfast nook, I guess you could call it. It's just a little seating area that's actually inside of the kitchen, just in case people don't want to, walk up and down platforms to get there. And then I wanted to add a menu because in my future home, I want to be able to like post up, what we're going to have for dinner for what day of the week, blah, blah, blah. So I added that here. And then this is the kitchen area, which I am absolutely in love with. I really love the way that this kitchen looks. It's so cute. And I've been really into making like kind of a wraparound area that turns into a bar area. So we have that. We have some debug items over there and stuff. Really simple. I don't know. I've been keeping my kitchens really simple lately, which is crazy because my own kitchen is not like that. This is the area that I was talking about earlier where this would be a perfect spot for either more bar stool area, like, or maybe even just a bar. That would have been dope. Yeah, a freaking bar could go there. But yeah, I wasn't thinking about that beforehand, but that would be pretty dope to go right there too. All right, so moving along, I just can't get over this kitchen. But moving along over here, it's a very tight squeeze to get into the stairway. Oh, I should have painted that, but no one really sees that, so we're not going to worry about it. But anyways, when you come upstairs, there's not a whole lot to see up here. There are a multitude of doors. Let's start with the bathroom first. So the bathroom is off of this door. It's really simple but super cute. Again, that's a painting that is not CC, that you can use in your builds. And if you play on console, you can download this and that will be in your game as well. But yeah, kept it super simple. This is like my favorite tile to use in game. Coming over here to the parents' room. So when you first come in, here's a mirror right there. And then they have their own little private balcony right here where they can paint and things of that nature. It's very simple in here, not a whole lot of decorations or anything. I liked using those lights, like stacking those lights. I think it just looks so cute and a little bit more modern. And these these dressers and side tables are from University, but I felt like they look so freaking modern and so cute, and they kind of remind me of Alex drawers. So I use those in here as well. And before we go to the kids' room, here's another one of those beautiful paintings. Let's go into the office really quick. The office is very minimal as well. I love this light. I for a long time didn't realize that those were leaves. I really thought it was like a globe, but I just like the way that it looks. But this is the office area. It's very simple and clean and modern looking in here. Okay, and then this is the other part of this hallway right here. And then going in here is where we get to the teens' room. So their room is super freaking cute. I love it. I love it so much. I feel like there's just so much character in this room. I especially love this mirror with the stickers on it. Super cute. But yeah, I don't know why the roof is looking like this. But yeah, anyways, this is the teens' room. And there's some clutter on the floor right here where it looks like, a typical teens' room where it's a mess slightly. And then this is that balcony area I was talking about. Super simple, just a table and chair. I'm so sorry that you hear all of my notifications going off for emails and stuff. But yeah, this is the build. I hope you all like it. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then here's just a peek of the back. Like I said, nothing really to see. Nothing really to see here. It's rainy in my game. Anywho, before I make this video any longer, I just want to say thank you so much for coming to another speed build with me. I so appreciate it. You're having a great day or night wherever you may be right now. I will talk to you all later. Bye.